back to ZBK episode number 4. I'm here with my boys, Chris and AJ. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Okay. Right on, Chris. We're doing good.
AJ's in love right now, bro. He's got the heart around him. But
AJ, as
the
you
heart.
can see, we have
Yeah.
AJ in a little heart today.
Yeah.
So just for our audience, whoever you guys are, we're going into a summer now with sports kind of changing up. We're no longer in our soccer season, football season, however you want to say it. American football doesn't start off for a while. We are in prime baseball season. NBA is going to be done by the time this podcast is out. So for you guys who watch our videos, we appreciate you guys. And if you guys want to see certain things, certain topics, we're going to be brainstorming a little bit, me and the boys. So if you guys have anything, we'll post a little tiny thing. You guys just slide up in AJ's DMs or the ZBK podcast account, and we'll be excited to take into consideration and look at some certain things that we are going to be planning. We're super excited. We have a little tiny podcast for you guys today. We'll start off with highlights of the week. We'll start off with a highlight from AJ.
Sure. There's not too many highlights since a lot of sports leagues are wrapping up here pretty decently. But it pains me to say it, but I'll say Rodri's goal in the Champions League final is a rocket. It was when they needed it. Yeah, that's all the praise Man City will get from me.
Yeah, I love that he said too, like in the first half, he was like, I was just playing like crap. He was like, yeah, I was playing like complete garbage. So that's cool. I mean, good for him. All right. Chris?
All right. Yeah, I'll agree. There's not much going on in sports, but I'll give my highlight. It's not anything game related, but just to poke at AJ a little bit with Arsenal. Declan Rice was asked today by a little kid at a festival. He goes, Declan, where are you going this summer? And Declan goes, nowhere, mate. I'm West Ham forever. And the kid asked him again. He goes, Declan, if you had to go anywhere in the world, where would you go for soccer? And he goes, nowhere, man. I'm staying at West Ham forever. That's my highlight. Declan Rice to stay at West Ham.
I don't know. I mean, I guess he doesn't want to mount anything else in his career.
Yeah, that's PR. That's good PR.
I mean, to be fair, he won a trophy, so yeah, I guess he did do something
more than Arsenal and Chelsea.
West Ham had a better season than Arsenal, so it's all
exactly more. Yes, they did.
All right, Josh, what you got?
You know, I guess I don't know. Nothing NBA.
Michael Porter Jr. taking 8-3.
I'm gonna say my highlight is this will lead us into our next little segment, and Chris can run that. But I'm gonna say Messi going to Miami.
Yeah.
That was, as a Messi fanboy, I was very happy. No, I am, like, even growing up, I'm really happy to see him go to Miami rather than go to like a Saudi team where he's just gonna feed on money like a lot of people are doing. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this summer we see so many people going over there just because of the money and they're trying to make their league relevant, which it will never be. But I'm happy that he's going to Miami. If you guys don't know, Miami are sitting at the bottom of their table.
Last,
not a great team at all. So I think it'd be awesome.
They just lost today too. As we're recording this, they lost 3-0 today.
My MLS team is LA Galaxy. We are, I believe, at the bottom of the table still.
No. But you're second to last now.
You drew today. Yeah, you drew because you drew the top team in your table.
I had today. I was sleeping all day, but it would be exciting just to see him go over there, see who else maybe Miami can bring in with him. Maybe another old guy, like someone, maybe Luis Suarez, or I don't know. But it'd be cool, just, let him have fun. I really think what he said was really nice. He said he's at a stage in his career where he doesn't really want to be the highlight. He just wants to enjoy himself. He wants to play the sport he loves and be able to spend more time with his family. And I think it will be great for the MLS. Anything that promotes American soccer, I am for, because Lord knows we need that. But let's chat about that a little more. I'll let Chris take that one.
All right, let's go. Let's talk about the Messi effect. Let's just start with the details of him coming here. He turned down offers from Barcelona, offers from Saudi Arabia. Granted, Barcelona didn't offer him they didn't have a legitimate offer on the table for him. Yeah,
official
it
contract.
was all mouth to mouth offers. But Saudi Arabia came in at the last second, offered him 3 years, $1.6 billion with a B, $billion. Let's just say for any normal human being, I'd sacrifice my life to go there for 3 years and $1.6 billion. But hey, he's made enough money in his career, and he said he's not about the money anymore. If it was, he would be in Arabia. But hey, like you said, I'm glad he's in Miami. He's not too far from where me and AJ are, about 4 hours down south. But you know, if we would have bought tickets when we were joking about it the day before he signed, we could have gone for $20 rather than $470. Let's go to the details of his contract. The fact that they even made him this offer just blows my mind, because let's just say the highest paid player right now in the MLS is Xherdan Shaqiri. He makes at just over $8 million a year. Yeah. Lionel Messi is going to walk into the MLS and he's going to make roughly $53 million annually. That number also does not include the incentives that he gets as well. With his deal, Apple's going to be giving him straight from Apple, not through intermediaries or whatever, straight from Apple. He's getting a percentage of their MLS season pass sales. He's also getting a percentage of Inter Miami's shirt sales from Adidas themselves. And when he retires, the MLS is going to give him an opportunity to own his own MLS team. So I have a feeling Messi gets 2 years here, 2 good years in the MLS, and walks out of here with an MLS club in Vegas, because they got their San Diego MLS club coming next year or in 2 years. And then after that, he'll get his Vegas club. He'll get a big market, assuming that he actually wants to be an owner. But that's the details of his contract, $53 million annually. And then he'll get his little snippets from Apple and Adidas themselves, which, look, man, that's crazy. He's now the 5th highest paid athlete in the US, behind Devin Booker at 56.1 million, Karl Anthony Towns at 56.1 million, Jokic at 54.5, and then Curry at 53.8. And then Messi falls right behind him at 53.7 million. Just blows my mind. It's going to be great for the game of soccer here in the MLS, or football, as all the Europeans are going to call it now. But I just think it's going to be huge. Let me hear what you guys think. What do you think about this, Josh? I know you talked about it in your highlights, but AJ, what do you think about Messi coming to Miami before I go in deeper about this?
Yeah, you're good. Also, to mention about his contract, for the most part, a lot of the other MLS teams are also paying his salary or paying his contract. Like, so it's not just Miami offering it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it really shines a light on MLS. I don't think MLS is that good. If I wanted to fall asleep, I would watch MLS. But I think this will bring a lot of eyes to it. Whether or not he pulls them out of the dungeon that they're in is yet to be seen. But I think that they'll get millions more viewers with the Instagram account follow went up to what, from like 1 million to like 6 million in like 48 hours or something.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous numbers. So obviously eyes are on Messi. People will be here, like people like when he goes to travel in cities, people will show up. When he plays at home, like people will be there talking about ticket prices, $21 to $500 to go stand to watch Messi. Like his influence is insane, and I'm not going to deny that. And obviously, he's the best player ever at the moment. But
you heard it here first, guys. AJ admitted Messi's the greatest player ever.
I mean, he is. I mean, Ronaldo's kind of crap right now, bro. He's playing in Saudi Arabia, and he sucks. He's even score goals. Like, I assume Messi will score, and I'm gonna assume. But my thing is, like, I don't know how much he plays this season. I think that's a thing that people aren't really considering, because he just came off a whole league season, and apparently he's July 21st is like his official, like he can officially play. Like, do I see him playing on July 21st? Maybe like 10 minutes, but I don't know how much he's really gonna want to play after playing a whole European season.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's good for the MLS. I think it's good for Miami, and I think it's good for the MLS overall.
Yeah.
So there's
Josh,
my thoughts.
Josh, anything else from on your side?
You know, I don't think Messi is going to Miami for the
A
reason
vacation.
some people might think. I don't think that Miami's asking him to come in and redeem them from their last place spot on the table. I think it's simply on the MLS side, it's great publicity for them. It's good for their business. I mean, at the end of the day, it's money for them. It's all numbers. But for American sports, it's huge. I think Messi's coming here because he knows just him being here is sufficient enough for all of us because we just want to see him play before he
because
retires.
us as
Um,
Americans never get to see him.
Right. I mean,
No.
think about the beautiful football that everyone else gets to witness. And like you said, the MLS is nothing amazing. Like it's you don't like it, but if you ever do watch like playoffs, it's exciting because it's teams that aren't ever going to be on the same level as a European team, but it's teams that want to win what they can here. And it's not beautiful football, it's sloppy, but that's what makes it exciting. I think I saw something, I can't remember who in the MLS said it, but they were saying I have to tell these 19-year-old kids that are getting drafted from their colleges and to lace up and play Messi
Yeah.
Messi at the age of 19. And it's just insane. And like you guys mentioned already, the prices of tickets, like they play LAFC, and I think the ticket prices were like the cheapest ticket was like $600. The cheapest ticket was $600. So it's insane, but it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to have a huge impact. I mean, we just keep continue to talk about it, but the legacy that Messi's going to bring here to the MLS. I mean, we've seen it from David Beckham already when he came over here. We saw it from Donovan coming back over here. We saw it from Zlatan coming over here. Now Messi's over here, which I think Messi brings bigger pull than any of those guys ever thought that they would bring. But Messi's impact is going to be ridiculous on this league. A couple more details on him. Average ticket prices for an Inter Miami game. Let me pull it back up. I believe it said $30 to $170 average ticket prices, which I thought was insane. To think that you can, the worst team in the league is now charging $131 per game.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. Like, you're in last place,
it's like
bro.
25.
You have nothing. Yeah.
It's like 25 to $30. That's like I went to LA Galaxy game like a month ago.
Yeah.
Ticket was like $24, bro, because we're dead last.
And then what? Like last year, we went to Orlando City game for what? Like $16?
Yeah, like
$16. Yeah.
Yeah. It blows my mind how much it changes. Like, gosh, bro, for part of me just can't believe that he's coming. Like, I love Messi. I'll talk about him later in the podcast when we go to our main segment, but it's kind of like your childhood hero in Idol is, lives so far away, and then he's right there and you could literally go and see him, but you can't because you're broke. That's the life we're living now. Hey, our favorite soccer player of all time is here. We can't go see him because ticket prices are price gouged through the roof, but hey,
it's kind of like Tom Brady.
Yeah,
it's like Tom Brady for us.
Exactly. Brady coming to the Bucks really changed that. But hey, I'll be watching the MLS more now. I'll agree with AJ. I'm not the biggest fan of the MLS. It's a top 10 league in the world. I'll give it that. It might even be top 8. It'll probably push
10.
Yeah, that's a couple people. A couple people have it at 10, but some people have it higher. And I think Messi bringing in this league will bring it to that top 8 league in the world, because of how many people are going to watch it, and how many people are already responding to tweets to Inter Miami. Like, they literally lost today, and everybody's like, "Don't worry, guys, Messi will fix this." Like, they're excited, man. On the Inter Miami side, though, this would be good for them. They're gaining, obviously, the best player in the world, but this also gives them the opportunity to go out and get Messi's friends. I mean, they've already been linked to Angel Di Maria. They've been linked to Luis Suarez. They've been linked to Sergio Busquets, and they've been linked to Jordi Alba. Within 2 hours of signing Messi, they've been linked to 4 of the best players to play the game.
Yeah.
I did.
Basically bringing the boys back together, bro.
Yeah.
Retirement FC. Let's see how far they can get.
Isn't that what the MLS is though? Is retirement
it
FC?
It is.
This is a retirement home.
It is.
Yeah. Hey, but that's good though. Messi, we're excited. We're excited Messi to be here in Miami. I'm interested to see who David Beckham and Inter Miami bring in to help accustom him to the US and to help Inter Miami hopefully push for the playoffs by the end of the season. It's very unlikely for them as they're sitting bottom of their division, but we'll see how it goes. Let's move on. Manchester City have officially won the treble. Double thumbs down from everybody here. That, like I said, I wasn't going to watch the game. That I watched the game, yes, and I painfully.
We all did.
Painfully watched the game.
At least me and Chris did.
Like, man, it was painful. It was painful. They won the Champions League. Pep Guardiola's first and Manchester City's first Champions League. Pep, his first time winning the Champions League since he was with Barcelona, I believe. Back in 2014-15, I believe that was the season that he won it. They also won the treble. He also won the treble with Barcelona. He won the treble with Bayern Munich. So now he's a 3-time treble winner. But hey, at the end of the day, as a Manchester United fan, it pains me because we were the only English team to win the treble. But Manchester City have done it by spending over £2 billion to get their team better. Thank you, oil money. But my last thing I'll say before I pass it off to you guys is 115 financial fair play charges. That is what Manchester City have racked up, according to the Premier League. They had a lawsuit a few years ago from UEFA and the Champions League itself, with some more of these financial fair play charges. But with the lawyers that they have and how good they are at what they do, they kept pushing the date back and back and back until they got statute of limitations out and they had to drop the case. But now this time around that the Premier League has put that there is no timetable on this case, and it doesn't matter how much Manchester City pushes back, they will still get punished in due time. So that at least gives me a little bit of hope that at some point Manchester City will get punished. I'll pass it to you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. I know it's painful for all of us as we all hate Man City, but what do you guys got?
Honestly, bro, I think Manchester City winning Champions League was inevitable, in my opinion. Especially with, I mean, we can talk about oil money all we want. At the end of the day, they're a great team and they have the best manager in the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah,
taking them. And then they have probably the best. I mean, I would say the best not up and coming, just the best young striker in the world too, in Erling Haaland. His stats are ridiculous this season, what he's accomplished coming into the Prem. With the financial fair play charges, I mean, this has been the story forever, dude. Like, at the end of the day, it becomes something way more like political, that is like, because Saudi and oil and the way that oil is valued over there in England and all that, like, I don't see anything severe happening to them, but maybe I'm proven wrong. I know if it was any of our clubs, like you guys already know, Chelsea did far less and were banned for a season. Punished. And then on top of that, we got freaking sanctioned. Like, we couldn't do anything. So, I don't know. I will say that they do deserve it. It does pain me because I don't like Manchester City like you guys. Happy for Pep. Disappointed in the Inter Milan performance. I really thought maybe they were gonna do a little stunner, but they did their best. I really didn't want them to be in the final. Disappointing from Napoli to not make it there after the season they had,
or even AC Milan.
Yeah, very disappointing. AC. But I think we all already knew it was gonna happen when it was Inter.
Yeah.
But you know what? They gave it their best. It's unfortunate. And I would say we're going to hear all about it, but from what City fans, so.
Yeah. All right, AJ, any final thoughts from you on this?
Yeah. It is inevitable. Like, they were eventually going to win it. I think what bothers me is just like the fact that they just get to spend whatever they want, man. Like, we talk about financial fair play or whatever, but like in reality, like, they get to drop £100 million on Grealish. Any other clubs doing that? I didn't think so. You know what I mean? Like, they only get to spend 70 million on Erling Haaland, an absolute like game changer, game wrecker. Like, it just seems a little bit unfair for the rest of us. And you know, hopefully this treble winning season and the successful season kind of leads to a lackadaisical version of them next year, because you know they won't be that much hungry for, because I mean they've won everything at this point,
Yeah.
you know. So that's all we can hope for as opposing fans with them, is just like maybe we'll just see a slower, like less hungry version of them.
Yeah, now that they've got
But
their
I
elusive
don't really
trophy.
see that happen. Yeah, now that they got what they wanted, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. One last piece. Josh, you brought up Chelsea sanctions. I mean, and AJ, you said it too, they get to do whatever they want. Like, and
uh,
this may come across as salty from me being a United fan, but all right, we're obviously in the midst of of figuring out our takeover and our new owners and blah 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 blah. They came out this thing where obviously Man City spent their money. Sheikh Mansour, their sheikh from Abu Dhabi, has been to 2 games in 13 years since he took over
he
the
went
club.
to the
Yeah.
one. Yeah, he went to the Champions League finally.
Yeah, that was the second game in 13 years. But nobody talks about where their money's coming from. Nothing like that. But then, I mean, Chelsea gets sanctioned with Russia and Roman Abramovich. You get their transfer bans.
Very quickly, yeah.
Yeah, within a week they were banned and he had to leave the country and he wasn't allowed to do business there anymore. And it comes out this week that the Glazers personally reached out to Nasser Al-Khelaifi from the PSG owner because he's Qatari as well. And they asked him if he would reach out to Sheikh Jassim, who's in talks to buy United, to up his bid. And now people are questioning where this United Qatar money's coming from and freaking out about it. All right, how about you freak out about the 115 charges Manchester City have and where their money comes from? All right, and end of rant. Let's move on. I'm done talking about soccer for this week.
Yeah,
Until later.
Yeah, I'm done talking about. Yeah, I'm done talking about City. I'm
done.
done.
Yeah,
I want to hear them. I want to hear about them anymore.
Can we ban City from our podcast? That'd be great. All right, let's move on. Denver Nuggets 3-1 up in the series. By the time this podcast releases on Wednesday, I believe that's Wednesday, June 14th. The Denver Nuggets could and probably will have wrapped this series up. They go back to Denver tomorrow night, June 12th, Monday night, to Denver, up 3-1. If they win the series. This is kind of inevitable now. Denver's going to win this series, unless Miami pull a rabbit out of their hat. Jimmy Butler.
It's possible. Miami can pull the rabbit. That's the thing, though. They've pulled the rabbit all season.
Yeah, I think if there was a team to do it, it would be Miami. But I will say it's not looking very favorable. They're returning. You can't lose 2 in a row at your home, at home advantage, and then go to Denver again with that height and altitude difference. It's going to be really tough, very, very tough. Look, that last game, it was, to be honest, we'll just put it as a Aaron Gordon domination. Bro dropped 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. He is such a good player on that team. At the end of the day, like, and what they got, I don't remember what the trade was for him, but it was not anything crazy. Like it was.
I know Gary Harris
first. Yeah, Gary Harris. Yeah.
The value they got off that was incredible. And then you can look at, and if you compare that to like the Rudy Gobert trade, it's your jaw dropping.
All right, you ready?
Gordon, yeah.
It's Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, who is literally a bust in the NBA right now, and a 2025 first round pick.
Yeah.
The pick will be top 5 protected in 2025, 2026, and 2027 if Denver keeps that pick. Gosh. So they literally traded Aaron Gordon for pennies, and in the words of like a lot of people, he has found the perfect role in Denver.
Yeah, no, he is. I mean, and it wasn't even anything crazy from like a Jokic. 23 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. He wasn't a crazy scorer. He wasn't a crazy facilitator. Got his rebounds like he always does. Jamal Murray had 15 points. It was a poor performance on Miami's end. Bam puts his 20 points up, gets his 10 plus boards. I will say for Murray, he's broke the record for most assists in playoff. Was it playoffs or finals?
Finals. He was 4 straight games
Finals.
with 10 plus assists.
10 plus, yeah. So
Yeah.
he contributed there, which is great. He took that facilitator role from Jokic very well. But you know what? We're starting to see the weakness in Miami's players that aren't the starters. Strus 0 points. That hurts them. Gabe Vincent 2 points. Had 1 assist. Jimmy Butler had 25, 7, and 7. In a game where you need your stars to rise, those aren't the numbers that you want from him. And then everywhere else on the board, it was just mediocrity. They're really going to have to dig deep if they want to try to do something. Don't see it happening, but if they do manage to get 2 wins, I mean, anything can happen, right? But I don't see it happening. We'll see if Spoelstra can do something. Maybe they bring in Tyler. But I don't know, dude. I think the ambition Denver's going to have during that game is going to be insane. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jokic drop like freaking ridiculous numbers that night.
Hero hasn't even been back yet, though. They said
No,
he was good, ready
yet.
to go. Yeah, interesting. So maybe Spoelstra does throw him out there and be like, "Hey, are you good?" Even if he's like 80%,
he has
just
to.
throw him
It's
out?
desperation time now. Yeah.
Here, Uber, go home.
We'll see. You guys think? All right, give me your predictions, AJ. You think Denver or Miami tomorrow night?
I think Miami. I think we're in elimination, and I think Miami just has been the cockroach that does not die. And I think if not tomorrow night, maybe in games. Would it be game 6? Yeah, in game 6. But like they're just a cockroach that don't die. So I'm gonna take a Miami win.
All right, Josh, what about you?
My heart wants Miami, but realistically, I don't know, man. I'll say Miami just for maybe the luck of it. They haven't been in this position in the playoffs yet where they're on the chopping block. I mean, you can say game 7 for the Celtics, but they were in complete control of that whole series. And then same thing coming up to it. So it's going to be difficult for them to like, look at this. They're behind. They have to win all the games now. So, you know, they're going to have to dig deep. But logically, Denver.
Yeah.
But my heart wants Miami.
Your heart rests in Miami. Don't cry for me.
Maybe Messi's aura. Maybe Messi's aura.
Yeah, Messi's aura will and Neymar's there. So.
And Neymar's always there. So Vinny was with him there as well. I'm gonna go Denver. I'm just gonna be the logical thinker here. I'm gonna go Denver. Altitude. Just list off my reasons. Altitude. Jimmy Butler's not healthy. Tyler Heroes doesn't know if he can play minutes. Aaron Gordon can't stop Aaron Gordon right now. No matter what Jokic does, it doesn't seem to matter. So I'm gonna take Denver. They take it in 5 tomorrow night. If not, then I'll give it the fact that Miami has a chance. If they can pull off this in Denver, they can go home to Miami and win in Miami and force game 7 next Sunday night. So we'll see. It would be fun to see this series go to 7. But I just don't see Miami logically pulling off this game tomorrow night. All right, basketball done. Last thing we'll touch on before we head to our main section today is summer of baseball. Josh talked about in the intro. This is going to be a creative season. Yes, this is only episode 4. So we're already being creative, but there's also a lot of material in front of us since we're in sports season. But when the summer comes, there's just a lot of creativity. So you'll see some baseball segments this summer. We can talk the Rays domination. We can talk all things baseball as it comes, but it's just going to be, bear with us this summer as we dive into some creativity. You'll see the beginning of our creativity today in our main segment. But if you love baseball, if you love creativity, if you just love us as people,
Gee, we'll talk about cricket if you want. I mean,
yeah,
look, we can talk about
finals, baby.
Yeah,
but yeah, hey,
we
appreciate the love, the listening. Just bear with us in our creativity as we find some fun segments to listen to this summer. With that, let's transition to our main segment of the podcast. We'll be back in 1 second. All right, let's go to our main segment today. We're gonna talk game changers. We're gonna talk about players and coaches who have completely changed the sport that they've been a part of. Josh, you changed it. You're going first. It was okay for the record. It was supposed to go AJ, Josh, and me, but I opened up the doc and it says Josh made an edit and moved himself up. All right, all right, Josh,
I
kick
made
us
it
off.
interesting. Players, coach players.
I like it. All right, give us
Game
number
changers.
one.
Okay.
I'm gonna start number one. I'm gonna say Cruyff.
Okay. Yeah. Before you go
Yeah.
in. Okay. So just to give us some knowledge of this, these are players who changed the sport. They impacted, and we're gonna go one person from each sport, correct?
Yes.
Or try to.
Like that.
Yes, you have to throw in
yes,
variety. We
yes.
can't just like,
I
you
actually
can't
have
just
two.
do like
I actually have two.
Pep.
I have two.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
That works.
Chill. I have two, and the last one is good.
Okay.
So I got Cruyff. Obviously a phenomenal player. He wasn't just. I mean, I'm players, but he was a phenomenal player and a great coach as well.
Mhm.
And we see that in Pep today. He is a 3 times Ballon d'Or winner, 7 times top goal scorer, 3 times European champ, 4 La Liga titles in a row, UEFA Super Cup winner, Spanish Cup winner, 9 times Dutch champ, 6 times Dutch Cup winner, and then he had 1 Intercontinental Cup win. He changed the way the sport was played. He had that philosophy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it was called like total football. It was a philosophy where any player can play in any outfield role. He changed that. I mean, the sport obviously has changed drastically over the years. Now we see like the new role of like our right back, left back being more involved in the attack. Someone that's a good example of that is like a Reece James, or you can say even someone like a Trent, who isn't that great defensively, but we won't talk about Liverpool. But no, he's a great player. Cruyff, known for that floppy hair. I don't know if you guys have ever seen clips of him. When I was younger, I remember going through random clips of highlights with the crazy music. It's like doo 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 doo. But no, he was amazing. He I don't know if you guys know, but when he managed Barcelona, Pep was in that team that he managed. And I mean, he said like, you have managers like Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger that have said that Cruyff has given them so much like knowledge, and a lot of their coaching styles came directly from him. And I know I'm talking about players, but he's just that influential in the game today. I mean, we were talking about Pep being one of the best coaches. I don't know who AJ's got. Probably not Pep, huh? Because he's like, yeah, I hate Pep.
Well, he's
But
a good coach. It just like,
he was in charge of that Barcelona team. He used Pep as a someone who pulled the strings on that field, and he set that Barcelona up for years of success. Because at the time when Cruyff went there, actually, it was a time during Madrid domination. Real Madrid were the bosses. So I mean, I don't know. I could go on and on and on about all the things he did, but I'll keep it really short and simple with that. And then if you guys ever play FIFA and you get the chance to use Icon Cruyff, he's phenomenal. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, Pack Icon Cruyff.
I'm gonna move on to NBA. My player, I'm gonna go with AI, Allen Iverson. He was the shortest player in NBA history to win the MVP award. He's the only player to average 20 points per game while standing at 6 foot or shorter. Impressive. Iverson inspired a generation of smaller players to be aggressive scorers. He popularized that crossover move. He was one of his famous highlights was crossing over Michael Jordan in his rookie season, and that made him an instant sensation. Younger players were inspired by his on and off the court style. AI he just was swag, bro. Like he brought swag into the sport. he changed that culture of the NBA that we see today. He merged sports and entertainment together and took it to a whole different level. He brought in that hip hop culture. What's funny, the league created a dress code because of him. Like they didn't have anything before him, and then they made the business attire or whatever, you know, that you see the suits and stuff, and that was because of him. He retired in 2011 as an 11-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, and a 2001 NBA MVP. That's impressive. If you guys ever get the chance, just look him up, just watch him. He was amazing, so entertaining to watch, so entertaining. He inspired lots of players for you know, generations up into now. We still people have, like, they talk about him and how they've inspired him. Obviously there's more than just crossing people over in basketball, but as far as us as fans, watching that is entertaining. And then I'm bringing it back to soccer because I was kind of, I don't know, I don't want to push anything too far, but I will say this player I'm very fond of, and as far as my love for the sport has really just made me love it even more. And I'm going to say Landon Donovan. Born in Ontario, which is like a 40-minute drive from here, and he played in Redlands, which is like 20 minutes away from where I am. What he's done for the sport in America is probably beyond anyone else. He's not the most naturally talented player in American soccer history. Like, you got Claudio Reyna or even someone like a Tab Ramos. I'm not going to tell you he's like the most naturally gifted player I've ever seen, like, you know, like a Messi or a Ronaldo or anyone like that. But you know, he's done a lot for the sport in America. His pro career, it wasn't a complete success. He failed twice in Germany and only seems to have he had a really successful, you know, time in MLS. He had an MLS, but he did a lot. Donovan is an internationally respected player. You know, that goal he scored, that will forever be legendary. People around the world know who he is. Like, you know, players know who Landon Donovan is. The U.S. have never had a player like that before. And it's not, I wouldn't say accurate to call him America's first international superstar, but I think it's fair to say here he's earned more respect than any other American. He had been named U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year record 4 times, 2003, 2004, 9, and 10. He was FIFA's Best Young Player of the World Cup in 2002. So having an American be the best young player, that's awesome for us.
Yeah.
The CONCACAF Gold Cup MVP in 2013. Gold Cup Best XI 4 times in 2002, 2003, 2005, and 2013. And then I didn't check this again, but I believe he remains all-time leading goal scorer in CONCACAF Gold Cup with 18 goals. And I think he's still the MLS leading goal scorer. Not sure if that's still accurate, but he had 138 goals in MLS. Helped the U.S. to tour 4 of its 5 first ever Gold Cup titles in 2002, 2005, 7, and 13. And then, you know, where I learned about him the most was his reign at LA Galaxy. He's the legend there at that club. It was the 2011, 12, and 14 when we won the league. Ever since then, it's not been the same. And we did have Beckham for some of that time too, and someone like a Robbie Keane. But man, it was as a young person watching him play. I actually got to meet him. I go onto the pitch. I got to meet him. I got to meet David Beckham, shake their hands. And I remember being young and being like, "This is amazing. I'm never washing my hands again." But you know, like I said, he's not by any means one of the best players in the world. But for the United States of America, he's done so much for the sport, and he's paved the way for us. I believe he also recently got inducted into the MLS Hall, or not MLS,
The
United
US
States,
soccer.
U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame, which
Yeah.
he deserves. He deserves that 100%. And hopefully, he's paved the way for our younger guys now. And honestly, I'm super excited for where the sport is at in this country right now. Like we said, with Messi coming in, we have, I would say, the most promising young international team that we've had in a very long time. Finally moving away from the old guys that were not cutting it for us. Didn't seem to have that passion. But when you see some of these players, you can see that hunger, that excitingness that Landon Donovan had when he played and put that kid on. So yeah, that's my last guy, Landon Donovan.
All right, Adrian, before we go to your coaches, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, Johan Cruyff is the Impact in season 3. So go watch it. Fantastic show. I'm hoping they do a 4th season, even though it's not confirmed that they're going to do a 4th season. AJ, all right, what you got coaches wise?
Okay. We'll stick on soccer. We'll talk about one of the greatest managers of all time. Talk Sir Alex Ferguson. Absolutely dominant. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I obviously think very highly of Arsene, and he has trophies to his name, but no one takes the cake like Sir Alex. 38 major trophies won under his reign. He was the first English team to win the treble in 1999. He has won 13 Premier Leagues, 5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, UEFA Super Cup, the basically FIFA Club World Cup, whatever trophy you could win as a club, he has won it. He has just the accolades the guy has put up. Like, I believe he has all-time Premier League record of 528 wins from 810 matches. He was just a born-bred winner, and he didn't have to buy a bunch of players to do it as well. I mean, he did get to buy players, but he did get to buy players, but not at the magnitude as a Man City. Like, he actually had to put in work. He had to put in like actual scouting ability instead of saying, "Oh, that guy, he's good. We should sign him."
Yeah, that's the one difference. That's the one difference between our 98-99 treble team and Man City's is, and this is where like United fans can be so toxic, but like, bro, I mean, good for City to have the money and get the players, but I mean, United did it with academy players, bro. Like, no, Pep can't do what he does without
they had
money.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think Pep wins with Ole.
No, Pep doesn't win with Ole.
So just just a guy who's respected around like in Premier League circles, like king of the Premier League. I mean, there's plenty of stories. Hard-nosed guy, just always looking to win. Always changing the squad. Like they were just the level of what you wanted to be as a Premier League side, and no one really stopped them. So he will be my first game changer. And then for the NBA side, I will take Pat Riley as, I mean, he's a lot of things in general, because I think that's one of the great things about Pat is like he was a player, he was a coach, he was a scout, he was a GM, he was he's like, if you could do something in basketball, like he was there and he did it. He had the job. Whether or not he did well in that is beyond, like, at least as an announcer and as a scout, but clearly as a coach and as a GM, he's clearly succeeded. He took some pretty crappy Knicks teams really far. He also took a couple Lakers teams to championships as a assistant head coach. He also, as well as he still does now, is the president of the Miami Heat, and clearly he's made some pretty good decisions there. He was also at one point the coach of the Miami Heat, and relinquished control to the guy who now coaches them, in Eric Spoelstra, who also is a game changer in his own. His resume is starting to get talked about now, which I'm happy for him because he's been pretty good for a really long time. Yeah. And I just think Pat, like longevity wise, just like he's just a game changer because like look how long he's done it. He's gone through so many eras of basketball that he could just he knows he's pretty much knows all aspects of the game. And also another tough coach and a no nonsense guy. And and you're talking about Allen Iverson's swagger, like as like a GM, like he's got the swagger, like he's got a rap verse, man. You know, like
100%, yeah.
like people respect him. Like they see him and they're like, oh, it's Pat Riley. Like that guy knows how to run. He's the boss, you know. So yeah, he will be my NBA pick, and then I'm gonna take an NFL pick as well.
Okay.
I will take Andy Reid as
Ooh.
my NFL pick as a game changer. Most winningest coach in NFL history. I believe about 2 years ago he edged out Bill Belichick, like regular season wise, I believe. He has made 7 AFC championships. He has won 2 Super Bowls now with the Kansas City Chiefs, but he has had 3 Super Bowl appearances. And talk about a model of consistency as well throughout eras. Like he's been a coach since the 90s. He was a quarterbacks coach in Green Bay, and then got a chance with the Eagles, and then led the Eagles to 4 straight NFC Championship games. Only went to 1 Super Bowl, loss, but still impressive to be that consistent for that long. I just think his offensive scheme, he has a really good way of taking the talent he is given and making it into something more. And I think nothing else summarizes that is when he got dealt Alex Smith, or they ended up getting Alex Smith because he was a cheaper option. And I mean, Alex Smith wasn't like bad, but like he also wasn't like, no one was like, wow, he's an MVP winner and he's gonna get your team wins. He probably thought he was gonna be average. I mean, he led those teams with Alex Smith to 10, 11 win seasons for multiple years. And also I'll say I attribute a lot of Patrick Mahomes' success to Andy Reid. And we'll give it to Alex Smith too, but like for letting him sit for a year. But I mean, think about if Patrick Mahomes went to any other team, because out of college he wasn't touted very high because he's played in a spread system that padded numbers, and everybody was just like, yeah, the kid can throw, but like, can he like run an NFL offense? And clearly, with 2 NFL MVPs and 2 Super Bowl rings, and a Super Bowl MVP. Does he have this? Does he have 2 as well?
I
Do you have
believe
2
he's
Super Bowl
2.
MVPs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
did
believe
he
he's
win
2.
both? Like, I mean, give the coach some credit. I think like the player's good, but I think the guy behind on the headset is pretty good too. Is a pretty good game changer.
Yeah.
That's all mine.
Yeah, Mahomes does have 2 Super Bowl MVPs now.
Okay.
All right. Actually, like, dude, you threw me for a couple ones. I'll notice. I thought you were gonna go with like Phil Jackson for the NBA, and I thought you were gonna go Bill Belichick.
I mean, Phil
for
Jackson's
NFL.
pretty cool.
Oh man, I
Phil
like it.
Jackson, he's the easy one though. He's the easy one.
It is. It's true. I like it. I like the differences. All right, my 3 players. We'll start with soccer as well. Everybody starts with soccer. I have 4. I made a quick change to my notes. We've talked about Messi enough on this podcast, so I'm just going to briefly touch on Messi before I go to the actual soccer one. Messi was my original, so I figure I'll just talk about him. Sam Tighe, from when they used to work for Bleacher Report, wrote this article in 2018 about the 3 different players that Messi has been over his career. He started Messi 1.0 as a teenager in early 20s as a slaloming winger. He was under, like, when he broke into the Barcelona first team, later under Luis Enrique, as the club swept their way to the incredible treble in 2014-15. But there's so many clips of young Messi weaving in and out of defenders, scoring ridiculous solo run goals. I mean, the guy had it all when he was young. He still has it all now, but even when he was young. Messi 2.0, he transitioned from a winger to playing a false 9. For those of you that don't know what false 9 is, it's not a center forward striker. It's a kind of a mix between a midfielder and a forward, someone who gets to play both roles essentially. So he got to play the false nine, the 2.0 player Messi in his career. My favorite thing about him during this time when he was the Messi 2.0, he scored 73 goals in the 2011-2012 season, and then he scored 91 goals in the 2012 calendar year. So from January 2012 to December 2012, he scored 91 goals. That will never be topped ever by anybody. Not even Erling Haaland will top that number. So I mean, shoot, Messi did it in two different eras. Now we'll go to the third era, where Sam Tai called it the enganche, which basically was Messi becoming a playmaker and turning into that center attacking mid instead of that winger and center forward. He focused on attacking efficiency with his defensive actions dropping to a negligible level, which makes sense. We've seen over the years Messi stop playing defense. He might as well literally just his heat map. If you showed his defensive work, it would literally be him going across the midfield line back and forth, trying to pick up the ball. He averaged 0.5 tackles per game or attempts per game and 0.2 interceptions per game. Which is that's just ridiculous to me.
Hey, but when he did do it, it was good.
He's not the same
he
guy
has
he was.
42 defense in FIFA. They're for a reason, you know.
He really does.
Yeah.
So I mean, Messi, obviously we all know changed the game. He's continuing to change the game as he is now coming to the MLS. But we'll move on from that. My soccer is game changing is going to be Samba soccer in Brazil. Not one player, but the country itself, the Seleção in Brazil. I mean,
Pele,
baila Vini baila. Brazil's fun, bro. They're a fun team to watch. They're a fun team to play with on FIFA. I mean, if Argentina didn't win the World Cup this year, my favorite would have been Brazil to win it. They're just fun. Samba soccer is newer. It's newer to a lot of people, but Brazil have been playing it for a long time. Pele was the first, then Ronaldinho, then Neymar. I think I've watched this clip hundreds of times of Ronaldinho and Neymar playing on the pitch together, and they literally dribbled and skilled and passed through the entire team they were playing against. Like to the point where the guy kicked out at Neymar after he passed the ball. Like they pissed him off so much that they literally went to kick him. But it translates to swing or sway. What Samba is, it's sway encapsulates what we're used to seeing from Brazil. It plays with a certain level of swagger, arrogance, and style. Brazilian players are famous for performing some of the most audacious skills, and it's driven by their Samba soccer integrity. Specifically, let's break it down. Samba can be broken down into two elements: a martial art called capoeira. I probably butchered the name. It's an ancient technique originally from Angola, including skills such as kicking, headbutting, deception, and evasion. And then element number two is the Samba dance, a solo dance that is mostly performed standing with a straight leg movement involving a slight bending of the knees. The way many Brazilians dribble, moving slowly forward with minimal contact on the ball, is a reflection of the dance. Similarly, explosive movements to evade an oncoming challenge or to deceive an opponent with a body feint are emblematic of the capoeira martial arts. Nowadays, in the modern era, we see Neymar being the most Samba player. Now Vinicius Jr. coming into that role, where they literally just telling him to dance when he's on the ball because they're just a fun group of players to watch. Essentially dance their way through teams and just kind of brings that element of remembering that all soccer is just a game. It's just a game. It's sometimes it's a life for a lot of us, and we love it. We watch it. We bleed soccer, but it's just a game at the end of the day. I'll go to my next one. We'll go to the NBA, and it's going to be Steph Curry. I mean,
just face.
like you want to talk. I love Steph for many reasons. I think the way Steph has changed basketball is just crazy. It's kind of like the Brazil and Samba. Like players literally go out in the streets and they try to be Neymar, they try to be Vinicius, they try to burn past their friends when they're playing against them, and they just do crazy skills. Well, kids literally are shooting deep threes when they have no business shooting threes now, because all Steph Curry does is shoot ridiculous threes and he makes them. I mean, we'll go down this list of stats of Steph. His 3-point percentages throughout the years. He shot 42% in 2020, 2021, 2019-20, he was injured. He played 5 games. So we won't count that year. That's an anomaly year. He shot 43% the year before, 42%, 41%, 45%, 44, 42, 45, 45, 44, and 43. All ranging all the way back to 2009, 2010. So he's been shooting above 40% every year in the NBA, shooting threes. He won unanimous MVP. He won back-to-back MVPs. They've won titles. I mean, they're literally the dynasty that we're talking about now in the NBA that we talked about a couple episodes ago, how it's over. It could be over, but at the same time, like Steph's impact cannot be underestimated in a game of basketball. I mean, if you ever watch him in his pre-game warm-ups, he shoots about 150 shots. It feels like he starts from the basket, doing layups, works his way all the way back to the free throw line, works his way back to the top of the key, to the middle of the 3-point arc, and then he ends up all the way back at half court where he makes his half court shot, and then he goes all the way back up to the hoop. His ethic, his ability to play through injuries, his shooting ability is unbridled, unmatched. I don't think anybody. I know I believe he beat Ray Allen and Reggie Miller for most threes in the NBA history. I don't see anybody getting remotely close to his record ever again. I don't think anybody shoots enough crazy threes to beat him. But I mean, we all know Steph Curry. Everybody knows it's modern day. We're going to go to my third one. We'll finish with this. Go to a sport we don't talk about very often, but his impact cannot be unmatched on the sport he plays. We're talking about Tiger Woods. We're going to go to golf. We don't talk about golf. We don't talk about golf very often. It's boring to watch for a lot of people. It can be boring to talk about, but dang, dude, it's fun to play. Tiger's had one of the biggest impacts on a sport out of everybody. If you look up players' impact on sports, Tiger's in the top 3 every time. I mean, in 2002, they talked about how they had to move tees back. They had to move greens. 2002, Tom Fazio revealed holes were longer. Trees were added to several sides of fairways. Tees were moved backwards. Fairways were narrowed because of how good Tiger was at a young age. 2006, they made bunkers deeper. They replaced greens, and they made certain holes even longer than they had already changed 4 years prior. It blows my mind that, like, yes, Tiger has had his off the golf course issues, several car crashes, probably should have died a few times. He had off the course issues with his wife and girlfriend, and there's just so much stuff with that going on, but that doesn't impact how he talks about golf, how he plays golf. I mean, the guy had a car accident 2017, I believe, or 2016, 2017. He came back and won the biggest tournament in golf the next year after he was able to play golf again in the Masters. Like, you ask each player on the tour how big of an impact Tiger's had, and they could go on for hours about how big Tiger's been for the sport they love and they play. Never forget Tiger's red polo, black pants, black shoes every Sunday tournament he plays in. It's an iconic thing in the game of golf, and it's an iconic thing for sports, how big of an impact that he has and how all of these players have had. I mean, each person we've talked about here today is individually impact the sport itself. Pat Riley's done everything. Allen Iverson. I mean, there'll always be the practice and always be the practice stuff. I'll never, like, when he stepped over. Was it Tyronn Lue stepped over in that one game
in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, like there's just each player's had their impacts on their respective sports, and it's, and a lot of them don't get credit for it. Like when we talk basketball, we don't talk Allen Iverson, we talk Michael Jordan, we talk LeBron James. We don't talk about Kobe. We don't talk about Pat Riley when we talk about basketball. We talk about Steve Kerr and Phil Jackson. And all those guys. Like, we don't talk about the other guys. So it's nice to be able to give these game changers the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, that's a great way to wrap up our game changer segment. I like where we ended here. It's a fun time getting to talk about these different players. Do you guys have anything else for today? before we wrap this all up?
No. Just let us know what you guys want to see more of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be very vocal about what you want, and we'll try to give it to you. I think we have decent opinions. Who knows? But yeah, we'd love to hear you guys. Our very loyal fan base, you know.
Yeah, if you made it this far in the video,
Yeah.
30 plus likes. AJ is gonna sing fireworks by Katy Perry
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
next pod.
Yeah, 30 likes on the next I will sing it. There will be a video.
There we go.
I
There we
promise.
go. Post it
Scouts
on
honor.
IG.
there it
Post
is.
on
We'll
Yeah.
clip it. That'll be
Scouts
you'll
honor.
see that clip this week. But hey, if you
Alright.
made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe. It's nice to continue growing community. This is fun for us. We enjoy every second of getting on every Sunday or Monday and talking sports and talking life. So it's a good time. With that, I mean, Josh, you did the intro, bro. Do the outro. Send us home.
Thanks for tuning in to ZBK episode number 4. One of many. You guys have a good night. Peace and love, baby.
Peace and love.